and welcome to another episode of the Hoopers Connection podcast. It's your boy Rel, joined by Keem.
What's happening, guys?
You. So we're back for part two. So we're about 2 weeks into the season right now. We're going to part two, which is the Western Conference. I mean, I kind of want to start a little bit later into the season to give it a different aspect because, I mean, the season is very early, but the season is, especially in the Western Conference, more than the Eastern Conference, I would say. It's very different than what most people, I would say, expected. So we're going to go through all the teams, and then at the end, we're going to talk about our breakdowns, what we think of the teams, and all that good stuff. So first, we're going to start Northwest. We're starting with the Denver Nuggets, the Nuggies.
All right. So the former MVP, the reigning MVP,
Two-time MVP.
First, as we know, we start 2 weeks in, so they're definitely one of those teams that we thought coming back with Jamal Murray coming back to their team, they would have those breakout start, but they're a little rocky from the start. So I believe they're around that 500 mark right now. But at the same time, they're a big team when it comes to the playoffs. Nikola Jokic is looking like his same old self, Mr. Triple-Double almost every night. Love watching him play. He produces every night. Jamal Murray's coming into form. Yeah. But I do project them to be in the playoffs at the end of the season. What scares me about them is their rotation. Who's going to be that person when, Jokic is not performing well? When Murray is having an off night, because he's not going to be that superstar form that we saw in the bubble for probably another year. If he comes back to that form around playoff time, that'd be surprisingly. But I'm expecting him to be back into his true self around next year. So who's going to be that next person? And we need to find that key piece to really help them out. I think Jeremy Grant was a key piece for them a few years ago, but they lost him. But I think they just need that. I need to find out who's going to be that piece for them to step up, that third piece, fourth piece. When it comes down to playoffs, are they going to have that bench rotation to really support when the start lineup goes to the bench? Will they have that support?
Yeah, I mean, I think that that's kind of what they thought. Michael Porter Jr. kind of thought that's what he's going to be, but he's hurt. But when he plays well. But then he doesn't play a lot, and then it's like Murray. I agree with you. I think Murray's going to be good. He already showed flashes already, but just body wise, like just stamina and getting his body right, I would say by the end of the season he'll be good because they still not playing them back to backs and all that. So it's like they kind of gotta like. I don't know. It's gonna take him longer than usual just because of that reason itself. It's like he's not gonna be able to get his rhythm for a minute. But he is showing signs. Herb Jones, I think he's been hurt a little bit. He's been a lockdown defender. Who else they have? They have a couple people. I mean, do they have both?
I think Aaron Gordon is one of the key additions they got in the trade last year because he's been very Mr. Consistent lately. He's been Mr. Double-Double coming off the bench for them. I think he's there, but he's still not that guy to get them over the hump, like to say, hey, that's the team to say, let's get them to the finish line.
He's a solid third or fourth, though. He's a solid
hands down. Yeah, I forgot about Mr. Gordon. And I like Gordon. I like what he brings to the game.
I think the issue with them is that Aaron Gordon was their second best player last year. Because everybody was hurt. So that's like being that third or fourth guy, I think that would be perfect for him. But last year, he had to be pretty much the second best player. I mean, because it depends on the night. Like, he was the second best player for a lot of games, for a number of games.
Let me ask you a question. What do you think about Jokic? Do you think he could be a three-peat MVP?
I think not, because so I have a theory of how MVP works, and just going off basis of how it's happened in the past. Typically for MVP, if you win two, for you to win that third one, you have to be going absolutely insane, and your team will have to be like number one in the league, which I don't think the Nuggets is gonna be.
Right.
If you really think about like when Giannis, for example, like Giannis won his two and then he lost in the playoffs. And then he had another great year that third year, but it was just like, can't really give it to him. And then he wanted to win the championship that year. But
very true.
But you can't really. I just going off to how the voters usually go. It's usually a standard. You typically have to be in the top 3 or 4 of your conference. That's the beginning. Like unless you're like Russell Westbrook and you do something that hasn't been done in 60 years. That's the only one that's getting the 7th seed and is still getting MVP.
Well, he has broken records. He has been breaking records lately. He has been breaking records.
That was I know he is, but at the same time, it's like you take a person like Giannis. Giannis is doing what Giannis does, and their team is probably going to end up with a better record. So you have to I would say probably Giannis. Then you got Luka. It's going to be very difficult for Jokic to. I mean, he's doing well. I think he's almost averaging a triple-double right now, or close to. But I think that he would have to average a triple-double for him to get MVP this year, and I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think he is.
All right, so I'm definitely trying to get there over under right now. But with that being said, what do you think the over under will be?
For them, I would give them 50 wins. Over 50.
I get them over 50. I get them over 50. So I think they get around the 50, 51 mark. Yeah, I think they get around there.
That's where they've been.
In the Western Conference, where does that land you in the Western Conference? That's what we want to talk about. The thing is, right?
In the West, I mean, that they could be second or they could be sixth. I really don't know because the West is all kind of mixed up right now in this. And I don't think that the way the West is, I mean, we're only about 12 games in right now. So it's a lot of season to go, and I don't think it's going to end nowhere near what it is right now. So realistically, they could be a top 2 seed. I could see him being the top 2, but I could also see him being like 4th or 5th.
Really? Okay. Top 2.
Yeah, because in the I mean, if you think about how the West is looking right now, it wouldn't be that hard. I mean, the top 2 teams right now is the Jazz and Portland.
Very true, very true. And we're gonna get into that because we're in the same division. So I agree with you. Let me just confirm what we got for the over-unders for the year.
Yeah, so I mean, I would say that the Nuggets overall, they got a solid squad. I mean, I think they're a team that I mean, in the playoffs, I think they could go far just because Jokic is just he could do everything. Like, I never seen a center that's able to do everything on offense. I mean, the reason why you can't put him, I wouldn't have him like with the top guys just yet because his defense is on the level of like a Hakeem Olajuwon,
right. So,
but or even a Giannis. But at the same time, what he could do on offense. There's no center in the history of the league that's able to do it. Like, he's running the offense. Like,
I've seen him run the floor and make passes like this. Like,
not like, oh, we're gonna give him the ball in the post and then we're gonna play through him. No, he's running. He's at the top of the running plays. They're setting screens for him.
Yes, on top of the key.
He's coming off screens,
and he's literally running the pick and roll. He's picking it down. Or going to the rack foul. Like,
there's no center in the history of the league that's ever done that. There's no center that's ever done that. So I
thank you for giving him his credit where it's due, because not many people want to say that. He's really doing stuff we've never seen before, and that's why I really like watching him play. He's really one of those elite players, and like 2-time MVP. We could question it, but
I would have went Embiid last year.
I would have went Embiid last year, hands down.
But I'm not mad that he got it though, because
exactly. Because when you watch this man play, and you coming from a big man yourself playing the position, like doing what he's doing, it's not easy. It's not easy at all.
It's nothing I've never, and I've studied the center position, especially the big man position in general, and I've never seen any center do that. I haven't.
So
the level of passing.
We were right around the win total mark. It have him at 49.5 preseason win total mark. So 50 is right where you and I got him. We got him over. So we're aligned there. So let's continue the Northwest.
So next one's here is the Minnesota Timberwolves.
All right. So it's funny that we got the season started. We 2 weeks in, just for the simple fact, preseason 2 weeks ago, I would have had a different mindset of the Wolves.
I agree. They're one of the teams that I would have been in a matter of 2 weeks. My opinion did change. I'm not gonna hold you.
I'll let you kick it off. Because speaking of big men, this team is just the epitome of what we want to talk about. Big men.
So my mindset. I mean, it's still early. I'm not saying that this is how it's going to end. And honestly, this is only year 1, so it's not like you can't judge the trade off of 1 year. I hate when people do that shit. But my mindset coming into the season is like, Rudy Gobert is going to help Karl-Anthony Towns, because Karl-Anthony Towns don't have to play as much defense. He got Rudy Gobert there. He can worry about his offense. he could get his shit off. You know, he could go off. But I just watch it. And also, too, my mindset is that I think the league is getting bigger, so to speak. Like,
yes, I was literally watching the game last night, the Hornets Magic game, and I'm watching these young boys come in. I'm like, these dudes are like skinny, but they're like long.
Yeah, they're tall.
Like,
they're tall. Yeah,
they're like 19, 20, but long. Like,
not necessarily bigger as far as stature, but tall, definitely taller. Like, you watch a team like the Cavs, they're tall. Like, they're a tall ass team. Like, so it's like I think teams are getting taller. So I'm thinking like, okay, this team will work with that because Rudy Gobert doesn't, you know, he on the Jazz. The thing that I didn't like about the Jazz is that, I mean, Donovan Mitchell is really good, but he's not to the level of like, you know, carrying you to a championship type level yet. But at the same time, you usually have to have 2 stars, and if your second best star is Rudy Gobert, who's only going to get you 14 max.
Yep.
You can't even put him in the game in the fourth quarter because they're gonna foul him on purpose. Right. It's like so, but now he's in a team where he's like the 5th option. So I'm like, okay, he's about to do his thing there. Everybody about to do their thing, but so far, still very, very early. It has not worked out the way that I thought it would be. It hasn't looked the way I thought it would.
I agree. So one thing I'm gonna say, it doesn't work right now because what they expected to happen was Anthony Edwards to take that jump. Because he needed to be the second best player. He needs to be that option. And right now they're working through Gobert as a second option, and it just doesn't work. And one thing you mentioned is correct is that it's big. We're getting a bigger league, but one thing that's coming along with these guys becoming bigger is skill. So it becoming bigger and it becoming more skill. Yeah, Gobert is not that skill. Like you depend on him to get points, but he's not getting those. He's not going to get you. Like don't depend on him. You need him to rebound and defend, and you could work if you use him right. And I think. That's where they're messing up. And he needs to stick it to high ball screens, rolling to the basket. You got Carl Anthony rolling out for 3 or get to Anthony on the wing. But they just right now they don't know what's going on. And I think coming to this year, I was gonna say 50 wins hands down. But no way. I think they get there. No way. I mean, and D'Angelo Russell, the point guard play has been horrible.
Yeah, D'Angelo Russell. I think that Anthony Edwards actually been playing well. I think he is playing like that second best guy. I think he is the second best scorer or whatever. Maybe number 1. I think he might be over.
Anthony Edwards, I think so. But in aspect of consistency, he's looking like last year again. Like we need you to be 20 and more every night.
And 22 he plus every night. He honestly needs to be around like 23 and up. 23 points.
Like you need to be that every night. Like you may have one night off, okay, but the team's gotta be threatening of you. Like, okay, he could come out and go for 23 or more every night, guys. He's gonna go give us 23 or more. We gotta contain him below 23. That's gotta be the message. But teams know that if he misses 2-3, he's gonna probably shoot his way out of the game, and that's what Anthony Edwards does. And I like watching him play too, but it's like, grow. But it at the same time, it's his second, third year.
Yeah, he's still young.
He's still young. I
mean, the thing about that team, though, like you said, though, is the part that team, and they showed it last year in the playoffs. They aren't a smart team. I don't like the call team dumb because that's just, I don't like that. But they're not the smartest team in the league.
Right.
And their awareness on court is just not there yet. And they'll get to it. They have really good talent. Like they're a very talented team. But I just don't think that they have the guys yet that's like you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, Karl-Anthony Towns is good, but they also talked about this too, that their stats when Karl-Anthony Towns and Gobert is in at the same time, their numbers are down as far as scoring because Gobert takes away what Karl-Anthony Towns could do. He can't go to the rack as much because he's standing right there
exactly. It's just crowding the paint. And today's game is all about spacing. It's all about creating freedom of movement. It's all about that, and you can't just crowd the paint.
So like, there's a stat that says that like their offense is better. They score like they're more efficient points wise when Gobert is on the bench, but their defense is better when Karl-Anthony Towns is on the bench and Gobert is playing. So it's like you can't.
He may get traded. He may get traded again for another 5 picks. I can't believe they gave up 5 picks for this.
You gotta let this ride for at least 2 years. I think it's still early. I think they're gonna be able to turn it around because they have the talent to. It's just that they're gonna have to figure out. They might have to add more. The thing about it is they don't really have any shooters like that in the starting lineup. So if you have Gobert, he's gone. Their best shooter is Karl-Anthony Towns as far as threes. He's their best 3-point shooter, essentially.
Oh, no, Anthony Edwards. Anthony Edwards is the best 3-point shooter.
I don't.
And that's a percentage. I
think it
would.
might
I mean,
Karl Anthony Towns. Think it might call it Karl Anthony Towns. But even if it's Anthony Edwards, even if it's Anthony Edwards, he's not a great 3-point shooter. He's all right. He's good like in the game type thing. I think he's a good scorer, but I don't think he's a good 3-point shooter. I wouldn't consider him a 3-point shooter. And then D'Angelo Russell, he's streaky. He's good sometimes.
D'Angelo Russell, but actually Russell and Edwards are both streaky shooters. That's what they both do. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. They need like a knockdown 3-point shooter that could just take that away.
Specialist. They need a Seth Curry. But they're not getting Seth Curry.
Yes. Harris or somebody that can just knock down a shot.
So right now, Edwards is shooting 34% for the year from 3.
And what's Karl Anthony?
And Karl Anthony, follow up with you right now. It's loading.
What was his last year? Because wasn't this pretty high last year? That's why he was in a 3-point contest.
Yeah, and Towns is pretty high up there too. I think Towns led the league, and he was one of the top 5 in 3-point percentage last year, I believe.
Well, I know he was for big. That's why he said he claimed to be the best 3-point
shooter. Oh well, so you are accurate. He's shooting 36% from 3 this year.
Yeah, and you're not gonna. That's not gonna work because even though he's your best 3-point shooter, you don't want him shooting threes. Teams is fine with shooting threes.
Yep. But you also got to talk about the amount of threes Edwards is taking compared to Towns. You may not be the same amount. Yeah,
taking more.
But so what you got? Over under 48.5. What we got with the Timberwolves?
See, before the season, I would have said yes, but now I would say they're gonna be around. I would say they'll be over 500, but I would say probably like 40, 45, 46. So I would say under.
Under. Yeah, I'm gonna say under too. I'm aligned with you. I'm gonna go with the under. I think they're definitely around that mark, around 45, 44 wins. They may be. If they continue around this street, they may be jumping to missing the playoffs. But we're not gonna get ahead of ourselves. It's still a decent team. They got talent. I think Karl Anthony is gonna be mature enough. Even though I have to see him last year in the playoffs, and that I don't know, but we'll see. I think losing Beverly was big for them. People because I think trading Beverly was big for them.
Yeah, no, I think Patrick Beverly was big. I think they need to get like a shooter, and I think Karl Anthony Towns. He's good. The season he was good. I mean, I think they're gonna figure it out. It's just gonna take them a little bit because their offense is just totally different. It's totally different than what they played the last few years. Just because they usually had a shooter that Karl Anthony Towns at the 5, so they had somebody that can spread the floor. It's totally different.
Now here's the thing though, what hurts them too, and before we get off them, that Rudy Gobert is their best defensive player because Karl Anthony Towns is not a good defender. Edwards is not a good defender. D'Angelo Russell is not a good defender. So it's like okay,
that's why they got him though. But that's before they see them together. It made sense because it's like we need somebody. You let everybody get to the rack. Like at least we got to go there. You know what I'm saying? Like it makes sense.
Facts. Agreed. All right. What we got?
All right. We'll see for that. But next is Oklahoma City Thunder.
Bring him to New York. Just bring him. Go after him.
SGA?
Go after him. SGA. You saw what he did at the Garden. You saw what he did. But
honestly, all right. So today is October 15th.
Yeah, November 15th.
No, sorry, November 15th. Sorry. And so yesterday I watched them when they played against Boston. They lost.
And that's off back-to-back nights because he played the Knicks noon Sunday, traveled to Boston, and still dropped another 35 plus on them. So I'm like, okay,
he went in.
He went in.
Gilgeous Alexander. He's like what? 5th in top 5 in scoring, I think, in the league right now.
Yeah, I can verify. We're gonna verify right now, but yeah, I definitely know that.
Yeah, I mean,
he's tremendous right now. He's playing unbelievable. Yeah, he's 31 and a half points per game, and he's number 5 in the league in scoring.
Yeah, 31. I mean, it's still early, but still, I mean,
he's 14 games, 50 games, but that's still pretty good. We're not expecting SGA to be doing those numbers, and honestly, he's keeping his team in games. They're playing off of him, and he's their only star. But don't sleep on that roster. So since we're on the Thunder, they got a lot of players that I did not think of, like this dude Alexander Peskaevich, this rookie.
Yeah,
you gotta look out for him. He's a little solid dude. He's a 14-7-5 type of night player. Like he's really solid. I saw him first in the preseason against the Heat, And then I saw him again like 2 nights ago. I saw him last night again. He's solid. He's solid. They got a solid young talent, but they're not a great team. Like they're not compete, but they're not compete, but they got a solid young team. Like
I like Lou
and they got picks.
I like Lou Dort. I like Lou Dort. He locks up.
Yeah. I like Lou Dort the way he's developing to a really like consistent player now defensively. Love him defensively. He gets in there. He's like, yo, I'm gonna defend. I love a player that want to defend. I love it. You want to defend, let's do it.
But he's getting better as a scorer too. So
that's what it took him from last year. We looked at his stats last year. He got become a way better scorer last year. He had to because ideally he was the second best player. So ideally, Giddey and Josh Giddey is another talent that's and that's what I'm saying. Like, you're telling he's what six. Giddey's what you could say 6'5", 6'6" guard or 6'5", 6'6" point guard. Like he's pretty solid. And if they do end up trading SGA, they're gonna get more assets.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing I was thinking about because obviously as a Knicks fan, every time somebody busts the Knicks ass, I'm like, damn, we should go get them, right? That's my mindset. And SGA, I'm thinking about all right, I would want SGA, but
I think he's the only player that actually wants to leave. That actually that wants to leave where he's currently at, and that's viable for us. That's like that
but
makes
realistically,
sense.
what can we give them that? Because it's like draft picks. They don't want draft picks though. They're good. They're giving away draft picks. They're at the point now where they're giving away. So I think they're looking for talent. So I'm like, why would you even? You got Chet coming in, whatever coming in next year. And then you probably gonna have fucking Victor, whatever the fuck his name is. Victor.
Victor Wembanyama. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
you're right. Well, Presti said he ain't tanking. That's what I'm saying. But why not? Because what you could do is you gather assets. Right? And then when you get these picks, and then you just trade for a star. They're gonna have over 25 first-round picks.
That's my point.
That's crazy.
They're at the point now where they're trying to they're really trying to dump picks. So I don't think they want picks at this point. I think they want at least young players. And it's like, are we going to be able to give them young players that's better than SGA? I mean, unless they think that he doesn't.
You're not really going to be looking for players better than SGA because you're not going to really find a young player, right?
But I'm saying, like, what is he like? Is his free agency coming up? Like, what was the reasoning? Why would the Thunder do it? That's my point. Like, why if I'm the Thunder and I'm watching him do this, I'm like,
did he resign? Did he resign with them?
I don't know. I don't know if it's coming up. I don't even know. I don't know what his contract situation is. It's like people talk about him leaving. I'm like, why is he leaving? Like, why?
I think he's a contract. Yeah, but I think he isn't.
Might be contract. If that's the case, then I'll make a move for him.
But that's why I think they don't want to pay the man. No, I know he signed a 5-year extension.
When? Last season?
He signed a 5-year extension contract with the Oklahoma City Thunder. And it's at $35 million. Yeah.
So they just don't to clear up cap space?
This was last year.
Oh, okay.
5-year, $172 million max rookie contract extension. So right now he'll be
1 year. You like, damn? Who else they spending their money on? I don't know.
You're right.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know the mindset of the league.
I mean, honestly, if you're thinking from where you're sticking and you're saying, hey, they traded for a star, they don't have to trade for a star because that's their superstar right there. Yeah. Keep him, build around him because when Chet comes back next year, they're going to be ridiculous. With that they're going to be nice. Yeah, they're going to be nice. They're going to get top 3.
You're going to get multiple top picks this year.
So they have to get Wembanyama or Scooter. One of them. One of them.
Somebody.
Well, let's hope the lottery goes well for them because it's not like the NFL where it's automatic. They still got to go through the lottery and stuff.
No, but they got a good team. I mean, obviously they're not going to be good this year, but what's the over-under? Like 30?
23.5.
Ooh, I would go over on that. I think they kind of violated.
23.5.
I think they kind of violated.
Right, they got 6 wins right now.
I still go over.
I think they go 27.
Yeah, 23. That's kind of violation. I mean, I think they bad, but I think they're a bad team, but not. That's kind of violation.
Damn. Okay. That was preseason totals. Wow. All right. Who we got next?
All right. All right, so next is Portland Trailblazers.
Oh yeah, my boy D Lil all day.
I mean, the
Damian
Blazers.
Lillard, I love that man. That's one of my favorite players in the league. I gotta take this one. I gotta leave this one, my man Dame Lillard. So they absolutely, if this was 2 weeks ago, I would not even had these men in the playoffs.
Yeah,
honestly.
me either. I had them as an AFC 2 weeks ago.
Not even the playoffs, but I gotta give Chauncey Billups a lot of credit, a lot of props. He's instilling his presence, his character, his demeanor of play on his team, like gritty. We're gonna do the right things. We're gonna play hard. Not gonna let the teammate down. We're gonna make the right calls. They play hard for each other. You see it on the court when these guys play. I got league pass, so I'm up every night catching the game as much as possible. So at the same time, watching them play without Dame Lillard showed a big impact on how this team is going to really represent themselves throughout the season.
Yeah.
Jeremy Grant, big pickup. Josh Hart, huge step up this year. Anthony Simmons, my goodness, like he's turned out to be a really clutch player. He's turned out to be he's had a big jump like how Jordan Poole had last year. Anthony Simmons had the same jump this year. Like he's really on that level where he's consistent 20 points every night. He's going to be a dagger for you. And Yusuf Nurkic is great. He's healthy. Once he's on the court, he's an impact for that team. And that's what's helping these guys. And they're just really playing well. And Dame Lillard, and you add Dame Lillard to that piece now, it's great. So it's like I really like what they're doing this year. I like the team a lot. I think they definitely finish I definitely think they make the playoffs. Definitely think they make the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, before the season started, I didn't think they'll make the playoffs, or I had them like in the 8. I had them like in a play-in situation. But they're definitely playing better now. Like they're playing better than I thought. I mean, Anthony Simons, he's like he's kind of like Lillard. He's kind of like Lillard. Like he's fearless. He can shoot it. He gets to the rack. And, I mean, I like his style, but at the end of the day, it's like, and I like Grant. I like Grant. I like Hart and all these guys. But
yeah, I like all those guys. That's what I'm saying. I like watching these guys play. I'm like, they're a fun team to watch.
I think they're a fun team to watch. They got the energy and all that shit. I mean, the thing for me is I don't know how I translate to the playoffs because when it's crunch,
so I think they're a first round out. So I think they're first round out. But
when you get to like the crunch time, is like Anthony Simons. Maybe he could. I'm not denying it. He might be. But I just haven't seen him, when it's
maybe he could, but like you and I both know, like you and I both know, it takes you gotta have that 1 year in the playoffs where you have a bad playoff year where you go through the playoff hump and I think every time he's gonna have that this year. Like he's gonna run into a playoff series and he's gonna be like, "Dang, this is the playoffs," and now he's gonna come back to the following year and be like, "All right, I know what it takes to ball up in the playoffs." Because not like how Jordan Poole had that championship pedigree surrounded by him. He was getting developed. And especially last year, they were losing all last year with the Warriors. I mean, the year before with the Warriors. So they got a chance to develop. This is different now because Anthony Simons, he's going to have to learn how to do it on his own because they don't really have that championship experience.
At the end of the day, Jordan Poole wasn't asked to be your second best player.
Very true. Well said.
Even third on some nights. So, at the same time, is different. It's different type of pressure because Anthony Simons, when Damian Lillard's out, he's their best player essentially in Grant. I mean, but as far as scoring wise, he's their go-to guy. So it's like it's a little different. And even Grant is playing in the playoffs, but he's not like
Grant
too much.
And the thing is that I think Grant is going to have one of those playoffs this year where people will be like, "Oh, this guy is actually developed into a really good pro," and people are going to really see him because he started really becoming into his own in Detroit.
Yeah,
Detroit was bummed,
terrible,
and then
I think he could be
actually in Denver a little bit, and then Detroit, and then he's now here, and he's gonna really get his shine now. People want to see how much he's developed now this year.
I think he could be kind of like a Chris Middleton type.
Good example. He'll have like a game. He'll have a game or two in the playoffs in a playoff series where he takes over. He's an impact. He's like, okay, wow. Oh, Jeremy Grant is going off. You have one of those games.
But I don't think they'll. I can't see them going past first round. What's their over?
Got them at over under. We got them is at 39.5 for preseason.
I'll go. At this point, I will go over.
I'm over. I'm over absolutely. I think they finished around 45, 46, 47. If they continue on this streak, they'll be above that, way above that, in the 50 mark. But
I don't know if they're
around the Timberwolves. They'll be in the middle of the pack.
Because if you think about it, last year, remember too, there was a point when Damian Lillard got out and Simons was going crazy, and the Blazers was winning, and then they just started losing.
You're right.
Ton.
Yeah, and one thing we got to also talk about throughout this year is the NBA schedule. many of our upcoming shows, the NBA schedule is going to realize that it's going to hurt a lot of teams. Like a lot of teams had tough schedules to start, then teams had easy schedules. Then you have the up and down of travel, back-to-back nights on travel. Like just watching the Thunder schedule, the Thunder just had their first back-to-back all year. So it was like, wow. So it was like the NBA schedule is different. It's different. But I definitely agree. I got the Trailblazers over.
Yeah, we got over for Blazers. So next one's here. Last one for this conference is going to be the Jazz of Utah, which is the biggest
team in the West.
Which is the biggest surprise of them all, because I'm thinking they automatically the worst team in the league before the season started. I'm like, they gotta be the worst team, gotta be. And then now they're the number one team.
Oh man, who would have thought? Who would have thought the Utah Jazz trading all their assets? I mean, gaining all these assets, and literally sending all their star players away, and they're number one in the West. I'm absolutely surprised. We're talking about Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Udoka Azubuike, Malik Beasley, Leandro Barbaro, Mike Conley, Lauri Markkanen, Kelly Olynyk, Micah Potter, Colin Sexton, Jerry Vanderbilt. You never thought this team would be number one in the West.
Well,
and out of all, Tatum Horton-Tucker this year has been balling.
Yeah, he's been killing.
Balling.
Markkanen has been their best player, though. Markkanen has been their best player.
No, Markkanen, hands down, he's turned out to be one of, like, he's coming into his own. He's like, okay, this is why you were allowed to be picked, brother.
Yeah.
There you go.
Sexton, the young bull, he's been killing. But, I mean, no matter how much, I think they could start off 20-1, and I still don't have them making the playoffs this year. I don't care how good they look.
So honestly, I'm going to disagree here. I watched them play.
I don't think they make the play-in.
They won me a good amount of money so far for the year. Not gonna lie,
I'm dead.
What I am gonna say, I think they will be fighting for the playoffs.
I don't think so.
I think they make the playoffs. This is why. They know who they are.
Yeah,
they know who they are.
But they may
not have no stars, but that's what's going to always get a team over there. They know who they are.
But this is the thing, though. I think that teams, they're beating teams now because they know who they are, and the teams don't know who they are. Because no one knows who they are. Nobody really knows who they are yet.
Yep.
When teams figure out who they are, which is going to be very soon, they're going to start losing a lot of games. I have them going to. I really believe that they're going to just, and then they're going to start trading people like Jordan Clarkson and maybe trade Mike Conley. I have a feeling that's the path that this team is going.
Well, they're on their first losing streak of the season right now, so you may be on a little thing.
I think they're going to lose like 15 out of 20. Not now, but at some point in the season. They're going to be horrible. I have that feeling. I feel like
I got you.
I think the start of it is exactly what you're saying, though. It's like they know who they are. So they're playing like they know who they are. A lot of these teams don't know who they are yet. More than half the league doesn't know who they are yet. So they know who they are. So as they figure it out, as other teams figure out who they are, I don't think that the Jazz are going to do well.
All right.
That's my opinion.
All right. The preseason win total was 24.5.
I'll have them going over that.
I got them going over that. Yeah. They're going over that.
I have them at like 35, I would say.
Okay. Damn, you really got them going on a long losing streak. You got them just bombing it.
Feel it in my guts. Just because it's like, yo, like, come on, there's no way. I'm looking at them like, yo, like this?
Nah, son, nah.
They are though. And then
I'm serious. I really think
I'm taking all that shit because they play the Knicks next. And they want the bus.
I know they play the Knicks next. They play them tonight. And I know that. And I'm not even touching the Knicks on any kind of line. Like, I'm telling you right now, they're gonna wax the Knicks. They're gonna wax the Knicks tonight. I'm telling you. I'm telling you now.
If Knicks don't bust their ass, we might be getting Victor. We might be taken. Honestly.
Hey, Leon Rose is our GM. Just saying. Wouldn't be surprised.
All right. So next one, we're going to go to the Pacific Division. We're starting off with the defending champion, Golden State Warriors. I think the Warriors is one team that obviously 2 weeks ago or before the season started, I would have a different opinion than now. Mm-hmm. But in the reverse than like the Jazz or any of the other teams, because they're not playing well right now. They're like 0-7 on the road or 1-7, something like that on the road.
Yeah, not playing well right now.
Not playing well. I mean, and I think a lot of it is their defense is down. Their defense is down. They're missing guys that were great defenders like Gary Payton second, those type of guys that were gritty. They don't really have that. And their young guys haven't really, like Wiseman hasn't really found it yet, found the groove, because he hasn't played with everyone yet. This is his first time playing with everyone. He played with Steph here for a couple, then Draymond was in, then he played with Draymond, and then he never really played with everybody. So it's going to take him time to find his way. Kuminga, all those guys that have to step up. But their defense is terrible. And I also think it's like a championship hangover. Like that shit got to be real. Like it's a real thing. Like that shit's exhausting to win.
It is. And you saw what they went through last year. We saw what they went through in the finals. It was a battle. It was exhausting.
That quick, like that shit is exhausting. Like there definitely is a hangover from championship. Like you're playing mad games. You're playing like 100 games.
Yep.
Like that shit has to physically
I agree with you. I agree with you in the aspect of the team is definitely have a lot of new pieces. And I think that's why Steve Kerr is a very smart coach. I'm not worried about the Warriors. They're playing horrible right now. That is facts. But I'm not worried because what he's doing now is he's developing a rotation with these young players.
Yeah.
He's letting them understand what they need to do in their positions, in this offense, in this defense. Defensively, I think that's gonna come back. Because I think they're trying to get Wiseman into a form where he is the anchor on that defense because Draymond can't be the anchor no more because he's getting older. He's not going to be that person no more. And I think, honestly, Draymond may be moved next year, honestly. Not even going to lie. Or they may not. I think something may happen with Draymond. But at the same time, I'm not concerned because they're starting these young players. They're giving them minutes.
Yeah.
And that's what's hurting them. When they go into their bench rotation in the second quarters and stuff, that's what hurts them. They don't have that unison. Like players like Gary Payton who could lock them up, but has experience knocking down shots from the previous year when they were tanking. They don't have those players no more. Derek Lee, they don't have those players no more.
Yeah.
So, but I think by All-Star break, they'll be good. They'll be doing the top teams in the West. You'll be like, oh, damn, the Warriors coming in for him because Curry's murdering. Curry's averaging. He's murdering right now.
Curry I think second. He's like second in the league in scoring. No, Curry's going crazy.
Yeah, like Curry's murdering. Like he's doing what he's got to do. Jordan Poole is doing what he's got to do. I mean, it's just defensively, and what's always been their anchor is not there right now. And they're losing bad games. They lost back to
like Kings,
Detroit, the Kings. They lost Kings, Detroit, Orlando. They were just like, what?
Yeah, Orlando, Detroit or something like that. Something crazy.
Yeah, I was like, what are we doing right now?
Yeah,
not good.
Yeah, they're good money. I think they'll be good. What's their over under? I think they'll still get
51.5.
I have them around 50. I still think they'll get to around 50. I'll probably say because I think they'll still end in the top 3 or 4. And
what's scary with the Warriors? They could go on a 20-game winning streak.
Yeah,
they could do something like that. They could go on a 20-game winning streak.
They could go on a streak where they're like 25 out of 31 or something.
Something crazy like that. So it's like that's why I'm like 51.5. I still got them over. I get them at 52, 53.
Yeah. All right. So next one is kind of interesting is the Clippers of LA. Because the Clippers is before the season, I have them. I mean, I still think that when healthy, I still think they are contender for the championship.
Yes, hands down.
But at the same time, we still haven't seen them healthy. Even to this point, I mean, they're not playing well right now. They're just not.
So the Clippers. I mean, continue. I'll let you finish. I'll let you finish your breakdown of the Clippers.
I was going to say. I mean, obviously Kawhi hasn't played a lot, and it really seems like Kawhi is really frustrated with it. Like he's like frustrated with the injuries and all that stuff. So,
right.
But you can't rush it. You can't rush it, especially this point in the season. It really makes no sense to rush it. But then it's like Paul George has been killing. John Wall's been doing all right here, but they haven't found like the defense that they had last year. They haven't found that yet. And they haven't found like last year they were just playing tough. Like they were a tough ass team last year. They haven't found that yet.
Yep. I agree.
But I think they'll get to that at some point. But like I'm definitely still have them as a contender. It just depends on if Kawhi can play. If Kawhi can't play, then no, they're not. They can't. They'll make playoffs maybe, but they're not
winning the championship. No, of course not. That's what they work Kawhi did do is to win them championship. So
Yeah.
this division all alone is like everybody's right in this whole division. You got the Suns 8-5, Clippers 8-6, Kings 6-6, Golden State 6-8, Lakers 3-10. So with the Clippers, like what gets with the Clippers is like Ty Lue is like trying to do this whole game management crap throughout the whole season, and it's like frustrating. And I think it frustrates the team because they never have a solid rotation every night. They never know who's going to be playing. They never know who's starting. Okay, am I playing tonight? Am I not? Like it's always off and on with these guys, and it's like he's trying to manage it up to the playoffs, but it's like ideally the best remedy is let these guys just play, just play. Like you build a rotation, play, and like it's like, dude, like when it's going to come down to playoffs, that's going to hurt you. And you saw last year with the Nets. You try to do all this. Okay, you can play when you want to play. I'll let you play when you do. Like, and then it hurt them when it comes to playoffs because there's just no chemistry. And I think if everybody's healthy, like you just said, everybody's on the court, everybody's playing well, this roster is solid. And those first two games of the season, I was like, this team looked great. John Wall come off the bench. Kawhi was solid. Kawhi wasn't great, but he was solid. You could see him coming to form. And it was like, then you started managing him. Oh, he's going to rest tonight. Paul George rest tonight. Okay, no, I'm going to have Zubac rest tonight. No, I have John Wall and Paul George. I was like, what are we doing tonight? Like, are we playing basketball or not, guys? Like, come on.
Especially that early in the year.
Yeah, especially that early in the year. It's like, come on. He was off for a whole year. Like, come on. Like, let's play. But the Clippers was at 52.5. Right now, I got him at 52. That's right where I got.
All right. Yeah, I would say probably under right now.
Yeah.
I said like 48.
Yep.
All right. So next we got the Lakers, LA. So yeah, I mean, Lakers is not good. I mean, but before the season started, I knew they weren't going to be good. They're probably one of the worst constructed teams I've seen. They have no shooting.
I don't know how this team came to. I don't know how this roster came to form like this. How I'm like, how did I like?
Who was looking at this roster and was like, "Yo, let's add Beverly."
Oh yeah, this is nice. We going into a nice roster. This year. We nice.
Yeah. Nah, there's no way. It's like
it's no way.
Whoever did this didn't know. I mean, I'm not a huge fan of analytics, whatever. whoever created this, whoever see this roster, absolutely hates that shit because there's no way that they looked at this shit and was like, they looked at this team and said no 3-point shooters, and they said, "Yo, the last piece that we're gonna get is Patrick Beverly." Like, are you serious? Like, come on. There's no way that they created.
Let's trade for Patrick Beverly. That's what we need.
Like, there's no way that they created this team with the.
Timbo said, "Oh, word, yo, Beverly." Pass that. We take that.
Exactly. And it's like, what do you do? And then they're gonna be bad, and then it's like their draft pick goes to New Orleans, so there that goes. It's like it's not looking good. Looking good for them.
What bothers me about the Lakers is I'll be straight up about he. I don't want to say he used to, but right now he's not one of my favorite players. Is Anthony Davis? It's like, bro, like you like completely bombed the player that you were destined to be. Like, you need to just stay in shape, stay active, and be a beast. You could be the best player in the league. He literally could be the best player, top 3 in the league.
Yeah.
But
it's like the way he played in the bubble.
Yeah. The bubble was like, yo. Anthony Davis,
the thing about the bubble is he actually played. Like, he's not playing. It's like, I feel like every time I see the Lakers, I'm like, there's a point in the game where you're like, oh, he might not come back. It's like every game, I'm like, yo.
He's on my fantasy team, and every day it goes from questionable to game time decision. Every game. It's never he's playing. It's always game time decision. It's like, what? Oh my God. Like,
I mean, there's a point where I was putting him over Giannis. There was a point.
Yeah,
I'm not
down.
But now I would never even think of
that. You wouldn't put in the same conversation. You wouldn't be like, Giannis is a different man than Anthony Davis. You're like,
nah, they were totally different levels.
Yeah, totally different levels. Yeah, I thought I would never say that, but I'm like, easily.
About 3 or 4 years ago, I was like, nah, no way. There's no way.
No way. Anthony Davis better than Giannis. No way.
So what's the over under for the Lakers?
So the Lakers got the over under right now, and preseason total was 45.5. Way under. Right now they got 3 wins for the season, so under, way under.
They gotta trade Russ or something. They gotta do something. There's no way that they continue.
You know, I don't know if you and I talked about this, but I saw this. Not even saw this. Like before the season started, watching. You know, a lot of the sports shows I do watch, but I can't remember who said it. But they mentioned a great comment, and I'm very piggybacking off of it. Trade Anthony Davis. That's the one. That's the one player that you can get the best assets for and the best in return.
Because they have nothing. They have nothing.
You have nothing. You have nothing to give. But
if they have the worst, if they get the number 1 pick, they got to give it to New Orleans. So it's like,
yep. So you have nothing. So you might as well trade to get assets. So you trade Anthony Davis, trade Westbrook, and build the roster around LeBron. LeBron ain't going nowhere. And you can't tell me LeBron wants to win a championship because no way he went into the offseason and said, "Oh, let's start this camp. It's a championship roster, boys." No way. No way.
Yeah, but who would you take Anthony Davis to though? Where?
There's teams that would take Anthony Davis.
Yeah, no, there's a lot. There's a lot.
Like Miami. Miami would take Anthony Davis. You could trade him to Miami, and Pat Riley would get him right. Pat Riley get him right.
That actually would be a really good team.
That'd be a nice ass bet.
They could give up like here. They would have to give up Hero.
Give up Hero. Give up Duncan. Give up a pick.
Multiple picks. You gotta give up multiple picks.
Give up multiple picks. You give us Strus, or give up all the. You gotta give up Oladipo. Yep. You give up Oladipo, Hero.
I can see that. I can see that. I can see a team like the Suns.
The Suns in exchange for DeAndre Ayton. Why not?
Yeah, and picks, and you gotta be more than that.
Ayton's not that happy in Phoenix. Straight up. The Lakers got that big man in the future. You know he's gonna play because that's what Ayton is known for. His durability. He can stay on the court. So like,
Ayton.
Like I think this, and I'm a Lakers supporter. But I think Anthony Davis trading his answer. What'd you say?
So you might have to throw Mikal Bridges.
Even Mikal Bridges, yeah, gotta throw Mikal Bridges in there. Yeah, you gotta surround. You gotta be basically saying, I want Devin Booker and Anthony Davis. That's what we need to make sure we keep. And Chris Paul ain't going nowhere. So Chris Paul and Davis in pick and roll.
Or maybe maybe even the Blazers, a team like the Blazers, but I don't know.
The Blazers. But I think the Blazers not a good destination just because he'll still be on his old bullshit again and not play. I think they'll let him get away with his bullshit. And I don't think.
All right. So next team, piggybacking on the Suns. The next team is the Suns of Phoenix.
Okay.
Great team. I'm just worried about the playoffs now at this point. Their team now
that's slacking by the Dallas Mavericks.
Their team that I'm like, all right, they're gonna be up there for one of the best teams. Let's just see where they at. Like,
I think what hurts the Suns, and I'm aligned with what you just said. I think what hurts the Suns though is depth. They don't have much depth, especially at the guard position. The backup guard is Campaign.
Yeah.
I like, but like you ain't doing much, Cam. Like you're not a threat. Nobody not worry about you. They know how to defend you. They know how to keep you out of the game. And, who's the backup two?
Cam Johnson. No, is he the backup?
Cam Johnson's the starting 3, right? Sometimes 4. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's what I mean. So it's like
I don't want to play. So yeah, I don't know.
I think it's their depth, and I think. But one thing I got to give credit to him, he's one of my top 3 in the league right now is Devin Booker, because he's playing better than I expected him to play. Yeah. He's playing how I thought he would play last year, where he's consistent 25 plus every night. He's doing that now. Yeah. He's coming on the court with that Mamba mentality, like, yo, nobody's stopping me. I'm really going to score. Not I'm going to take shots. No, I'm going to score and score and score and make sure I score. And that's his mentality. And watching him play is great because that's how he's playing now. Before, he was like, okay, I want to make sure I get much shots up, or I'm going to take my shots because I know I'm the star player. Now it's like, no, I'm shooting to score. I'm making sure I score. Yeah.
No, I agree. I think that he's taking that next step. I mean, I think they're going to end up top 2, 3 record-wise in the West.
Yeah, yep.
But it's a question mark. Can they do it in the playoffs? I'm not sure. But the West, to me, I think the West is the most wide open that it's been in a while. Very wide open. There's no team that's dominated. I thought it would be the Warriors, but then they have. I'm thinking, all right, Warriors about to on the way to 60 wins or something this year. But
they're struggling too.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that they have a shot to be. I think Suns gonna end up top 2 in the West, but I don't know. I don't know about other than that. Outside of that,
it's a playoffs.
How was the over under for wins?
52.5.
I'll say over that. Yeah, definitely over.
Yeah, got them over. Got them 55, 56.
Yeah,
57. Yeah.
Definitely. All right. Last ones here for this division are the Kings. Sacramento. Kangs.
I like my boy Mike, Coach Mike Brown. I like what he's doing out there. They're at 500 right now in the division. I mean, the league. I mean, they're not making the playoffs, but I like De'Aaron Fox. I like Keegan Murray. I like his young talent. I like to pick up Domantas Sabonis. He's a factor for them. They compete every night. They're not walkovers no more, but they're not making the playoffs. But solid future. Sacramento may have something in the future.
If they can get Victor, they'll be good. But other than that, they're one of those franchises that they're not going to be good for a long time, unless they get a miracle. Unless they get a miracle. Like you see, like a team like Detroit, for example, they're not good. Detroit's not good. I think Sacramento right now is better than Detroit. But I think the future,
hands down. Yeah.
In the future, I'd rather have Detroit. I'd rather have Orlando. I think they actually have teams that you could build with.
Orlando's roster is nice. I watch Orlando a lot. They're
nice. I'd rather have the Thunder's roster than have the Kings roster. Even though I think the Kings are better right now. I like Fox and all these guys. It's just they're not going to be good for any. They're not going to be good anytime soon.
Yeah, their roster is not. Yeah, their roster is not really. So their roster is not really built for future because they don't have really much talent that you can say they could be good. They're trying to build. They're trying to. You see what from looking at their roster, they're trying to build through trading. They're trying to build through trading, trying to build through free agents. Because if you got the roster, you got Harrison Barnes, they got Terrence Davis, De'Aaron Fox, Dellavedova, Kevin Huerter, who they traded for, Alex Len, Trey Lyles. These are like mid-year veterans.
Yeah.
Davion Mitchell, Malik Monk, Sabonis. So they're not trying to really. They're not building for get talent for the future. They're trying to win or build a winning roster now or next year. That's what they're trying to do.
They have no real structure.
They have no structure. Yeah, they have no structure. You know what they're doing.
Fox. I think Fox should leave because I think he'll be a better player on somewhere else.
He signed with them, didn't he?
I think he did. That's why he
traded. Why?
What's his name?
Yeah.
But I think that he has to leave for his career to be better than what it is. He has to leave.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's is he going to ever be a player that's going to lead you far in the playoffs? No. Sabonis, no. Sabonis is not. So it's at the end of the day, I'd rather gamble on SGA and Shet that I haven't seen yet over those two.
They're both good number twos. De'Aaron Fox and Sabonis.
Yeah.
They're great number twos.
Sabonis might be a number 3, honestly. If you try to win the championship.
Who?
Sabonis might be a 3.
Who?
Sabonis.
Yeah, it might be 3, but yeah, I agree. I agree.
They're not it. I mean, I think that they'll. I mean, I don't even know. I think that if they need to get the number 1 pick. That's what they do.
The over under is 33.5.
I'm gonna go under.
I'm gonna go under 2. I'm gonna go around 29. Yeah, 29.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
They have 6 wins right now. I go 29. No way they make the playoffs. No way. We may have to eat my words though. All right, who we got next? Moving divisions now.